In this tutorial, we are going to talk about the mesh current analysis. The main basic idea in mesh current analysis is to determine the branches of current and voltage across the elements of a network. Suppose we have the question says find I1, I2, and I3 in the network using loop current method. So how can we use the loop current methods to solve this kind of problem? So we all know that currents move from negative terminal to positive terminal. Electric current move from negative to positive terminal. So as we all know, we have what? The positive terminal and what? The negative terminal. So here is a loop, loop 1, loop 2, and we have loop 3. So let's call loop 1 I1 and also loop 2 I2 and also loop 3 should be I3. How can we first identify the first loop, which is loop I1? So we all know that the current started from positive terminal to negative terminal. But as usual, we all know that current passing from negative to what? Positive. But if the current passes from what? From positive to negative, it means that this 10 voltage should be what? Should be negative 10. So therefore, this voltage will stay as what? Negative sign. So if the current moves, we have what? The resistance. So we have 10 ohm resistance. So therefore, we have 10 I1. 10 I1. And therefore, the current will move from negative terminal to positive. Negative to what? To positive. The resistance should be what? Should be positive. And also the current should cross. Should cross what? Should cross the loop. This is not. This is what we call not. And from here to here is what we call what? The branch. So therefore we have what? 20 ohm. So also the 20 ohm, it is what? It is positive. From negative to what? To positive. As we all know, the current is what? Current moves from negative terminal to positive terminal. So therefore, how can we write the resistance? So we all know that this 20 ohm applies in what? In the first loop and the second loop, which means the I1 and what? And the I2. So how can I say here? I will just say that I1 minus what? Minus I2. Because I'm calculating my current in what? In the first loop. This is my first loop, this is the second loop, and this is the what? Third loop. So I will say I1 minus what? Minus I2. Why should I say minus I2? Because the 20 ohm appear in what? In the first loop and what? And the second loop. And I'm calculating what? I'm calculating the first loop. So I will first start say I1 should, and I will then minus with what? With the second loop. My second loop come what? Second. But if I'm calculating what? The second loop, I will say I2 minus I1. Because what? I2 come first. Why I2 come first? Because I'm calculating in what? In I2. So I have to put the I2 come first before the I1. So in the first loop, I have to put the I1 first before what? Before I2, because I'm calculating in what? In my first loop. So therefore, plus 20 I1 minus what? Minus I2, which is equals to what? The voltage. And I've already calculated the voltage, which is what? Minus 10. So I have to expand this bracket. I have 10 I1 plus what? 20 multiplied by I1, 20 I1 minus 20 multiplied by what? I2, 20 I2, which is equals to minus 10. So I have to collect like terms. 10I plus 20I, 30 I1 minus what? Minus 20 I2, which is equals to minus what? Minus 10. So therefore, I will just divide both sides by what? By 10. Divide by 10. divide by 10, and I will have what? 3. 3i1 minus 2i2, which will be equals to what? 10 here, I have in 1. So therefore, let's call equation 1 for the first loaf. So we are calculating what? The first loaf. So let's move to the second loaf. So how can I calculate the second loaf? If you take a look to the second loop, we're having how many voltage? We have 2 voltage. We have 40 voltage, and also we have what? We have the 10 voltage. So as you can see, the voltage current move from what? From negative terminal to what? To positive terminal. So therefore, if I say 40, if the current started moving from here, from the negative sign, as you can see from the first loop, the current starts from the positive and ends with what? Negative. But here the current starts with negative and it will end with what? Positive. So I have 40. And therefore the second voltage, the current starts from negative and end with what? Positive. Also I'm having what? Positive. So I'll say 40 plus what? Plus 10, which is equals to what? 50. So let me start calculating what's the resistance. So I have this 20 ohm resistance, which is what? 20 I what? 20 I2, because I'm dealing with what? With the second loop. And also for the 10 ohm, if you go back to the first loop, I'm looking for what? For the I1. Okay, sorry, I'm calculating for the what? For the first loop. That's the reason I say 10 I1. But for the second loop, I'm calculating in what? In second loop. So therefore, I will say what? 20 I2 on its own. So therefore, I have another resistance, which is what? Which is the 10 ohm. I'm having 10 ohm. But before the 10 ohm, I'm having the 20 ohm. So I will say plus 20 what? 20 I what? Okay, sorry. I2 minus I1. And therefore plus, I have 10 ohm. I will say what? I2 minus I3, because I'm dealing with what? With the second loop, so I will minus the second loop from what? From the third loop, which is what? I2 minus what? Minus I3. So therefore plus 10 into what? I2 minus I3. So the 20 ohm, 20 I2 plus what? 20 I2. If you expand the bracket, minus what? Minus 20 I1. So therefore, expand the second bracket, I will have 10 I2 minus what? Minus 10 I3. So I have to collect like terms. I have I2, and also I2. 20 plus 20, 40 plus 10, which is what? 50. So therefore, I have 50 what? 50 I2. So I1, I am having only what? I1 here. I am having what? 20 I1. So let's move to I3. I will say minus what? Minus 10 what? 10 I what? 10 I3. So therefore I will say it is equals to what? It is equals to the total voltage. My total voltage is 50. I have to say 50, 50, and also what? Also 50. So therefore I have to rearrange. I have to rearrange it. So I will say minus 20 I1 plus 50 I2, therefore minus 10 I3, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 50. So I have to still divide both sides by what? By 10. If I divide both sides by 10, I will end up having what? I will end up having minus what? Minus 2i minus 2i1 plus what? Plus 5i what? I2 minus what? Minus 1, which is I3, which is equals to what? which is equals to 5. If I say 10, 50 divided by 10, 5 here, I'm having 5. So therefore, let's call it equation 2. If I'm to calculate the current in the third loop, I have to delete the calculation under the first loop so that I can have the space to calculate the third loop. So don't forget we have the equation 1. We're supposed to have 3 equations so that we can find both currents, so that we can find what the 3 currents. So therefore we have also we are having what? We're having 2 voltage from what? From the third loop. We have the negative, we have the voltage which was what? 10. But we have to start calculating from here. The voltage is from negative what to positive. So therefore we have what? We have 50. Because the current moved from what? Negative to what? Negative terminal to positive. So therefore we'll end up with what? With positive. And also if the current across comes here, it will pass the 10 ohm resistance and it will what? Come to the what? To the 10 voltage, which is what? From positive terminal to what? To negative terminal. So therefore we end up with what? With negative sign. So therefore we have minus what? Minus 10. I hope you get it. So therefore we have 40. For the third loop, we have what? We have the voltage of what? Of 40. So how can we find the what? How can we form the equation with what? With the resistance. So also we know we have what? We have 10 ohm resistance as it itself. So therefore we have to say 10 what? 10 I3. So also we have to say plus what? Then how many resistance do we have? So we're having only one resistance. So therefore plus what? Plus 10 bracket what? So don't forget, as I said before, if you are calculating what? If you are calculating the third loop and the resistance cross between what? Between two loops. So you have to say the current loop minus what? Minus the loop that what that resistance contains. So therefore, our current loop, the initial loop is what? I3. So therefore, we have to minus with what? With I2, because what? This resistance consists of what? I3 and what? And I2. So therefore, we have to say I3 minus what? Minus I2. So therefore, I3 minus what? Minus I2. So therefore, it is equals to what? 40. Our voltage is what? Is 40. So therefore, let's expand the bracket. Plus, you have to say 10 multiplied by what? I3. 10 I3 minus what? 10 what? Minus 10 I2, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 40. So I have to what? Add what? The both what? The both I3 and I3, because what? They are the only like terms. So therefore I have 20 what? 20 I3. So therefore minus what? Minus 10 I2, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 40. So therefore I have to divide both sides by what? Divide both sides by 10. So I will end up having what? 2 I what? 2 I3. 2 I3. Sorry. Well, let me say, let's leave it. 2 I3 minus what? 2 I3 minus 10 I2, which is equal to 40. But we have to rearrange it. If we rearrange it, we'll end up having what? Sorry, here we're having what? Because we divide both sides by 10, 10 will go. We're having what? Only I2 have 1. So therefore, 2 I3 minus. So we have to rearrange it. If we rearrange it, I1 comes first, so I1 is 0. Then what? I2 comes first. So we have to say what? Let's make it easy and just put the final equation. So therefore we have minus what? Minus I2. Therefore plus what? Plus 2I what? 2I3, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 4. Because if you divide 20 by 10, we'll have 2. And if you divide what? 10 by 10, we're having 1. So therefore we're having I2. And therefore also 40, if you divide it by what? By 10, we'll end up having what? Having 4. So therefore we rearrange it. Sorry, we arrange it as what? In series 1 and 2. I1, I2, and I3. So therefore the I1 it is 0. Here it is the same thing as what? 0. So therefore it will become what? negative what? Negative I2, because 0 minus I2, it's still what? Minus what? Minus I2. So therefore here is what? Here is the equation what? Equation 3. So now we have to what? Apply equation 1, equation 2, and equation 3 in order to identify the value of I1, I2, and what? And I3. So therefore from equation 1 we have 3 what? 3I1 minus what? Minus 2I2, which is equals to minus what? Minus 1. From equation 2 we have what? Minus 2I1 plus what? Plus 5I what? 5I2 minus what? Okay, sorry, from equation, yes, equation 1 we are having only I1 and I2, but equation 2 we have what? We have I1, I2, and what? I3. So therefore minus I3, which is equals to 5. Here we have negative sign. So therefore equation 3 we have 3I1 minus what? Minus 2I what? 2I2, equation 3. Okay, sorry, I3, this is it, I3, which is equals to what? The value of what? Which is 4. So there is a mistake that we made in the third equation. The third equation has to be negative 1, sorry, negative I2 plus 2I3, which is equals to 4. So if you pause the video and get back to the video, you will see that the value of I3 we got minus I2 plus what? 2I3, which is equals to 4. So I have to use this second equation and the third equation in order to substitute them, and from one equation that I may only have one I1 and I2. So therefore I have to eliminate the I3. So I have to say 2I1 plus 5I2 minus I3, which is equals to 5, minus I2 plus 2I3, which is equals to 4. So therefore I'm going to eliminate the I3. So I have to multiply it from the first equation. I have what? I have the value of what? I have the value of I3 as what? 1. So I have to multiply here by what? By 1. And also the second I have I3 as what? 2I3. So I have to multiply by what? By 2. So you have to interchange the value and multiply by what? By the first equation and also what? The second equation. The number of the second equation will be multiplied by what? By the whole number of what? Of the first equation. So therefore, and also for the second equation, is what? It interchanges. It is all the same. So I have to say that I have to multiply. I will say I'm having negative 4I1, and therefore plus 2 multiplied by 5, I'm having what? 10 what? 10I2 minus what? Minus 2 what? Minus 2I3, which is equals to 10. 5 times 2 is 10. So therefore I have to say 1 multiplied by what? I1, I'm having what? Minus what? Minus I2. So, oh sorry, minus what? Minus I1, because 1 multiplied by what? By a negative number is what? Is negative number and what? And that number. So therefore 1 times 1, it is what? 1. And also I have negative. So therefore I'm having what? Minus I2. So I have to say plus what? Plus 1 times what? 2I3 is what? The same thing as what? Plus what? Plus 2 what? Plus 2I3, which is equal to 4 times 1, and is also what? Also 4. So therefore minus 2I3 plus what? Plus 2I3 will give you what? 0. So therefore you have to say minus what? Minus 4I1 minus what? Minus I2. You're having what? Minus what? Minus 5. Okay, sorry, you have to say minus what? 4 plus what? Minus what? Minus 1. So therefore here I'm having minus, which will become what? Okay, sorry, plus minus 1. We are having what? Minus what? Minus 5. Okay, so here is what? I1, and therefore here is what? I2, and therefore here we're having what? I2. So therefore, sorry, we are not going to say I2 for I1 and what minus I2 because they are not like terms. So I will just write this down for I1 and therefore I have what? I2. So therefore 10 minus 1, I'm having what? 9. So therefore plus what? Plus 9 what? 9 I2, which is equals to what? 10 plus 4, which is 14. Please, I'm sorry for the instruction because I1 and I2 cannot add themselves unless if they are what? They are together. Because we don't have I1, so therefore the value of I1 is what? Is 0. Please, I'm sorry for that. So therefore, let's say here is what? Equation 4. So therefore, I have to substitute this equation because I have I1 and also I have I2. And therefore, from my first equation, I have what? I1 and also I have what? I2. So I have to what? I have to add this equation and this in order to find the value of I1, I2, and what? And I3. All this we are doing is to just find what? The value of what? The first current and what? And the second current and also what? And also the third what? Third current. So therefore, let me write the first equation. I'm having 3I1 minus what? Minus 2I2, which is equals to what? Minus 1. And therefore, I have what? Minus what? Minus 4I1. And therefore, what? Plus 9I2, which is equals to 14. So therefore, I have to eliminate what? I1 in order to find the value of what? Of I2. So I have to multiply by what? By 4. And also multiply by what? By 3. So therefore, let's have the solution of this. So therefore 4 multiplied by what? 3, I'm having what? Okay, yes, 4 multiplied by 3, I'm having what? 12 what? 12 I1. So I have to clean the what? I have to clean the top so that I can have balance. So therefore 4 multiplied by what? By 3, I'm having what? 12 I1, and therefore 4 multiplied by what? 2, I'm having what? Minus what? Minus 2I what? Minus, okay, sorry, minus 8I what? I2. And therefore, which is equals to 4 times minus 1, which is equals to what? Minus 4. And therefore, 3 multiplied by this, also I'm having 12, but negative 1, and therefore, minus, okay, sorry, plus 3 multiplied by what? 3 multiplied by 9, okay, sorry, 9 times what? 9 times 3, I'm having what? I'm having 27. So therefore, 20 what? 27. So therefore, which is equals to 14 multiplied by what? 14 multiplied by 3, I will end up having what? 42. 42. So therefore 12I are cancelled, and therefore minus what? Minus 8 plus 27, I'm having what? 19I2, which is equal to minus 4 plus 42, I'm having what? I'm having 30. If you divide both sides by what? By 19. So therefore, the value of what? The value of I2 should be equals to what? 2. So therefore I2 is what? 2 what? 2 So I have to find the value of I1 and what? And what? And I3. So therefore, let's take equation 1 to find what? The value of what? I1. So therefore, I will say 3I1 minus 2I2, and I2 is what? Is 2, which is equals to minus 1. So therefore, 3 what? 3I1 minus what? Minus 4, which is equals to what? Minus 1. So therefore, 3 what? 3I1, which is equals to, and 4 it will, 4 will what? 4 will cross the what? The equal sign, and it will become positive. Minus 1 plus 4, which is equals to what? 3. So therefore, 3 what? I1, which is equals to 3. If you divide both sides by what? By 3, therefore I1, which is equals to 1. So therefore, I1 is what? I1 is equals to 1. So therefore, I have to find what the value of I3 because I1 it is equals to what? 1. Because if you say 3 here, you're having what? 1. Divide both sides by what? 3. 3 here. I'm having only I1 and which is equals to what? I1 is equals to 1. So therefore, I have to use this long equation minus what? 2 I1. I1 is what? 1. And also plus what? 5. I2 is what? Is 2 minus I3. I'm looking for it, which is equals to what? 5. So therefore, I'm having what? Minus 2 plus what? Plus 10 minus what? I3, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 5. So therefore, minus 2 plus 10, I'm having 8 minus what? Minus I3, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 5. So therefore, I have to say minus I3, 5. So if 8 cross the equal sign, it will become negative. So therefore, minus what? I3, which is equals to what? Minus what? Minus 3. So I have to what? Divide both sides by -1, -1 in order to what? To exclude this negative sign, to remove it. So therefore, minus, we can see minus. So therefore, what? I3, it is equals to what? Value of what? It is equals to value of 3. So therefore, I1 I1 it is equals to 1 and therefore what? I2 which is equals to what? 2 and therefore I3 it is equals to what? 3 So therefore those are the final solution. So this is the end of this question. Please do share to your friends and don't forget to comment, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos. Thanks for watching.